So the FNAF movie is out for like 3 months now. Yeah, I know that I'm late to the party, but I also want to leave my thoughts on the film. So let's get started. So first I want to say some non-spoiler things for those who haven't seen the movie yet and they want to see it without knowing anything. And the first thing is that the movie isn't perfect, but it is everything I like about FNAF. It is enjoyable, it is funny, it is scary. Also, since we talk about scares, don't let that PG-13 rating get into you, cause this movie could get pretty graphic at parts. Also, don't get the critic reviews seriously. If you want to see it, go and watch it. If you are a big fan like me, you are going to love it. Okay, now let's get into spoiler territory. So, the plot of the movie is that Mike likes to sleep. Okay, well, very simplified plot there, but I actually really like it. I didn't expect it cause the trailers didn't focus on it, but yeah, I really like the basic plot of this film. But the actual non-simplified plot is that Mike has these dreams every night of the time his brother got kidnapped, and Mike believes this theory that you remember everything you have seen through your life, but you have to look hard enough. So every night when he sleeps, he tries to find clues of who killed his brother. But the plot of Mike wanting to find who killed his little brother was a great motivation for the protagonist. But also Mike has to take care of his little sister, Abby, which she sees ghosts, but she portrays them as imaginary friends. Also, Mike fights a legal battle with his aunt to keep custody of his little sister. So now, let's talk about the story. So, the movie starts with a night guard, which his name is speculated to be Fritz. Nice little Easter egg there, guys. Trying to escape through a vent. When he eventually does get out of the vent, Foxy gets him and puts him in this Freddy Fazbear sock contraption, which he dies in. The intro was incredible. It sets up pretty well that those animatronics are scary and deadly. Also, this weird saw thing is really cool. I know it's weird, but I like it. Then there is this really cool opening credits sequence where there is this 8-bit style minigame thing which tells us what happened to the missing children. This was a really cool and fun sequence, and the music is just a piece of art. I mean, just hear it. I really like this song. So after the credits end, we go into Mike getting ready for work. He goes for work and he beats up a father because he thought he was a kidnapper and he got fired. Then he goes to a career counselor to give him advice for a new job, and his career counselor is Steve Raglan, which when he sees Mike's name, he suggests him to work as a night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And Mike rejects the offer because he can't work nights because he has dreams about who kidnapped his little brother. But after some thinking, he did take the offer surrounding a pink notice paper which he found on his door. He finally accepts the job, and around 18 minutes into the movie, Mike goes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He goes throughout the pizzeria, and can I admire for a moment how beautiful and faithful to the original series everything looks like. Everything from the animatronics to the tiniest little details look fascinating and visually pleasing. Well, Mike goes to the office and he falls asleep, and he sees the same dream again, with the only exception that some mysterious kids are not present in the dream. However, obviously we know those mysterious kids are the missing kids, but also their random appearance in the dream makes it clear to the audience that the pizzeria isn't as normal as it seems, and it affects the protagonist. Then, Aunt Jane and her lawyer, Max, who is Abby's babysitter, which she's only babysitting Abby because Jane told her to find evidence of Mike being a bad parent, which he's not. Also, Mad Pat makes a cameo, which I didn't expect because he said he wouldn't be in the movie, but I guess he was lying. Also, they handle the Mad Pat cameo pretty well. He's this waiter who tells facts about foods. Also, he says the iconic line, "It's just a theory," which it was really funny. I miss him. But they go on with this plan to just break to the pizzeria and wreck everything and make Mike look bad, so he gets fired. So the next night rolls in and Mike falls asleep again, but in his dream he gets hit by the Foxy Kid with his hook and he starts bleeding and stuff, and he wakes up. Then a police officer named Vanessa shows up for some reason, and she also sees Mike bleeding and she tells him about it, but Mike has no idea that he is bleeding because he thought all that happened to his dream self and not his IRL self. Also, Vanessa tells some things for the pizzeria to Mike, like the missing children incident, the many night guards who have quit, which is her way to say that they died, and some other stuff too. Then she presses the showtime button and the animatronics start perform on stage, which the puppetry which they did here is just amazing. Throughout the movie, the animatronics move so robotic and sometimes more lively. It's just amazing. They did an amazing job with every animatronic in the movie. But anyway, the gang finally breaks into and wreck the pizzeria, and one by one is getting killed by the animatronics. Specifically, Jeff, who is Mac's brother, is killed by Foxy, Hank by Bonnie in the supply closet, Carl, who is a double Easter egg character because he has a midnight motorist shirt and his name is Carl, like many fans had speculated to be Mr. Cupcake's name, which he gets killed by, and Max, who was killed by a kid luring her into a Freddy suit, and then...
Was that the bite of 87?
Yeah, that. All of this sequence is probably my second favorite sequence of the entire movie. It shows perfectly how freaking deadly the animatronics are. Also, Carl's and especially Max's death were pretty brutal. Don't get me wrong, all of the deaths were brutal, but Max gets freaking cut in half by a Freddy Fazbear suit. Like, what the fuck? So, like, blah blah, Mike talks to Vanessa. To be honest, this is the most boring scene in the movie. Don't get me wrong, I love those characters, but I want to see Freddy Fazbear. So, Mike takes Abby with him because he can't find Max to babysit her. After another dream sequence, Mike wakes up to hear Abby being tickled by the animatronics, and he thinks that she's dying because she's screaming, but they just play with her, and Mike obviously is confused. He doesn't know why these animatronics are sentient. So Abby introduces them all to Mike, and she says that he's her brother. So they decide not to hurt him. So the next day Mike asked Abby about it, and she just straight up tells him, yeah, they are ghosts. She has been taking with them for a long time. So Mike is so desperate to find who killed his little brother that he tells Abby to ask the ghost kids about it. And the only thing that she says is that it was the yellow rabbit. and I honestly wish there was some more stuff like this that they build up to William Afton's appearance, cause it feels like the yellow rabbit thing is underutilized. Then the night rolls in, and Mike, Abby, Vanessa, and the animatronics build a fort together. They sing and they're having fun together and stuff. Also, the movie tells us how Springlocks works in this most unexpected way ever. So they show us how the Springlocks work with an Ella Springlock suit. Excuse me, what? You could have chosen any other animatronic, but they choose Ella, which, by the way, she isn't even an animatronic, she's a doll. But anyway, Mike and Vanessa are talking, and then Vanessa says she is gonna shoot him if he brings Abby to the pizzeria again. So then the next night comes, and Abby is staying with her Aunt Jane, and Mike is going to work, and he falls asleep. And the ghost kids tell him that he is going to stay in this dream, but the kidnapping have never happened. But he has to give Abby to them, and Mike says yes. But he instantly tries to change it, and then Golden Freddy comes to Mike's house to get Abby. But before they leave the house, we see that Aunt Jane was killed by Golden Freddy. So Abby comes into the pizzeria, and Mike and Vanessa are talking. And then we get the biggest plot twist in all of cinema, that Vanessa is William Afton's daughter. Which, to be completely honest, I didn't expect. Never expected this plot twist. Then Chica lures Abby to the back room in order to springlock her in the yellow suit, which this scene is probably my 5th favorite scene in the entire movie. But then Mike comes and tases Chica just like he did with Freddy and Donnie, which I forgot to mention. So then the cupcake starts biting Mike's leg, which, by the way, the cupcake carried the whole movie in his non-existing shoulders. But anyway, because Mike is getting bitten by the cupcake, so Abby is left by her own to deal with Foxy. In what is thing, this is supposed to be like a recreation of the first scene from the Silver Eyes, which is honestly pretty cool. Like having Foxy hunt you through the arcades is pretty intense and cool idea. And then William Afton in the spring Bonnie suit is finally comes out, and it is the best and most memorable scene in the entire movie. Matthew Lillard is performing masterfully. And then he calls off the animatronics, and they wake up. Then Vanessa shoots him, and then the second plot twist of the movie, which is basically that Steve Raglan and William Afton are the same person. So then William Afton stabs Vanessa, but then we know that William controls the animatronics with this drawing that shows the animatronics being happy and stuff. So Abby draws a new drawing and changes the old one with the new one. So then the animatronics got angry at William, which when he realizes it, he just yelled at them, basically trash talking, and the cupcake jumps into him and activates the spring lock like the cupcake. But anyway, William gets spring locked, which he also says, "I always come back," which got the whole theater cheering. Then he gets dragged by the animatronics, which is another Silver Eyes reference, recreation, and then the movie ends. So let's go on some thoughts that I have. So the movie was pretty great. I have some problems with it, but it was pretty damn good. The story, the music, the characters, the comment, everything was amazing, but I said it was some problems. But the positives are way many than the negatives, so I think I am gonna put it a 9 out of 10. So that was the video, guys. I have been Dark Acid, and I will see you in the next video.